Witchcraft, a practice which dates back over 3,000 years. Throughout history, witches have been perceived as healers, mystics and wise people, but perhaps witchcraft is most well known for its evil and malevolent connotations. Before witches started to become persecuted, the craft was common in communities and witches were held in the same regard as other tradespeople. Things changed in the 1400s when the persecution of witches became a craze, with the publication of a book called Malleus Maleficarum, written by Heinrich Kramer, which vilified witches, and at one point became the second best-selling book after the Bible. This led to many people being subjected to witch hunts, which followed the book's set of rules for outing supposed witches, many of which were preposterous and mainly misogynistic. Kramer, who was the original incel, said that women could easily be witches just by being a single female, as they would obviously be seduced by the devil, without a strong man around to protect them. Flash forward nearly 200 years to 1692, and in the New World, even more witch trials were cropping up, with perhaps the most infamous being the Salem witch trials, which saw 18 people executed for being witches. Once witch mania had died down, the ridiculousness of death sentences for magic was seen for what it was, and laws were created to protect people from facing the same indignities they had for the past centuries. Today, most modern witchcraft is derived from the pagan religion of Wicca, which was created in the Victorian era but only popularised from the 1920s onwards. Throughout the 50s, 60s and 70s, witches were encouraged to practice on their own or with a coven, which saw many already practising witches come out of hiding, but equally many new people joined the craft. The 70s saw a boom in witchcraft documentaries and media coverage, and from that point onwards, witches began honing and defining their own practices, which weren't necessarily entirely comprised of Wiccan practices, but which saw more of a holistic and natural approach which worked for the individual. In the 1990s, many new witches were brought into the craft by watching the film of the same name.
We are the weirdos, mister.
And much more light-hearted versions of white witches were shown on screen, in the form of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Practical Magic and Charmed, to name a few. Today, the hashtag witch on Instagram has close to 11 million posts, and a quick scroll through the feed just shows that while some may be using it as an aesthetic, there are still real practising witches out there who can now be proud to show off who they are. In today's video, I'm trying out witchcraft for a whole month and seeing what I can learn from this ancient and dedicated practice.
Demons?
And if it's a load of hocus pocus, or if there really is wisdom to be learned from the ancients.
Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Originally I had recorded an introduction for this video, but apologise for my cat just jumping past there. But it was before the whole she who starts with a C thing that you're not allowed to say on YouTube because they take your money away. But when I was looking back at the introduction, I thought it was a good idea to change it around a bit because I talk about a lot of going outside and things. This video was recorded before all of this started, so please enjoy. If you're new here, my name is Nikki and I do stuff like this all the time, so why not drop a subscribe? It'd be nice to have you join the family. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video was to explore witchcraft. Ever since I was younger, I've always been intrigued by it. When I was growing up, we were always told stories of witches and things. It's always been in my vernacular, definitely. So this video is not intended to offend anybody, it's just for me to give it a go and see how it goes. Now, as I say later in the video, I am using this book, which is Witchery by Juliet Diaz, basically as my introduction into the craft to give it a go, and I'm going through sections of that and trying it out. And for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to try some things out, see how they work and see if I like them and see if there's any changes in my day-to-day life. So yeah, give it a go. Now the first thing we need to do is make sure that we've got some supplies, so on to the next bit. Okay, so what is very, very exciting is the witch starter kit that I ordered from the internet has arrived today, so I'm going to unpack it and have a look what's in there. It's promised me that it's going to be everything that I need for basic rituals and spells. It didn't really say what was going to be in the box apart from a few herbs, candles, etc, etc. So let's see what's in the box. If you can hear water running in the background, that's because I'm currently running myself a bath so I can do my first proper ritual. So far I've anointed my witchcraft book and got that ready to be used and way more enchanted, which means apparently it unlocks a magical spell that is contained inside the book to make it more potent, which is very exciting. Ooh, now this box is completely wrapped in tape, which makes me think that there might be interesting things inside it. So.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, so it already smells a bit, something on my nose, a bit herby, a bit kind of like slightly cumin scented. So the first thing has already come out. Looks like a suspicious bag of dried herbs. Let's see what it says on the front of it. Ah, great, stuck to there, so I don't know what it is. Ah, bilberry leaf. Okay, exciting times. I don't know what bilberry leaf is, but I'm sure it's incredibly magical. Oh, it's packed full of goodies in here. There's loads of stuff. Look at that. That's amazing. I didn't expect it to be this full. I thought it would be like 2 or 3 things maybe. I will put a link to a place where you can order it from in the description box below, because this is amazing value for money. I think I paid about £8 for this. Well, I say that, it's a load of dried herbs, but to actually sit and package it all is really cool. Wow. Okay, so I shall show you piece by piece what we have. We have some thyme, because who doesn't need more of that, right? It's not funny. Walnut leaves, aniseed, copal resin, avens, amaranth, Himalayan salt, fenugreek seeds, all-important sage,
Spirits be gone from this house.
peppermint, lemongrass, something I hate with a passion, tansy, lemon balm, raspberry leaf, black sesame seeds, burdock root, marigold, ooh, garlic granules, tasty, allspice berries, some limpets, not necessarily suitable for vegans, curry leaf, keeps going, aw, little acorns, dandelion leaf, graveyard dirt, I wonder where this came from. Well, a graveyard obviously, but which graveyard I would like to know. Oak galls, whatever that is. Coriander seeds, tasty tasty. Cumin seeds, that's what I could smell. Okay, this one looks like it's leaked slightly. Ginger, agrimony, don't know what that is. Hart's tongue fern, rue, ash keys, this looks like biscuits. Orange peel, nice. Frankincense, very handy. Chilies, lovely. Couple of conkers, alfalfa.
Oh, alfalfa, you're a sweet poo.
And there's 2 more left in here. Tarragon, and to finish, last but not least, blessed thistle. Now this kit also comes with a couple of candles to help you on your way with some spells. I think these are hand-rolled, handmade, nice cute little candles. And I think everything in this box as well apparently is also enchanted with some kind of spell. So yeah, I'm excited to use all of this. I am gonna do my first ritual this evening. So to start me on my first ritual, I have to let go of anything that doesn't serve me any longer. So I'm going to follow the ritual step by step like I would a recipe. However, having read some of this book so far, it's very much you interpret things as you would like to do them yourself. So I think I'm going to follow it to not exactly to the letter, but try my best, because that's all I can do, I guess. And I'm going to make myself my first potion, which is
Very exciting.
I'm going to be doing the bath spell for banishing ghosts within, because that is what you need to do to get started on your journey, apparently. Okay, right. What I need is a cup of cold water. Will a mug do you think? 1 tablespoon of honey. Oh, I've got some cream crackers in the back of here. Nice. 1 tablespoon of honey. 1 lemon slice. I don't have any lemon slices. What have I got instead? Lemon juice do? I've definitely got lemon juice somewhere. I've got lime juice. Maybe, somewhere. Okay, for now, lime juice. I'm sure that is exactly the same thing. It'll be fine. 1 garlic clove crushed, can do that. 1 pinch of salt, 1 pinch of dried basil or star anise powder, or 1 whole star anise. I don't have any star anise, but I'm sure I've probably got some basil. Dried mixed herbs, that'll do. 1 sprig of rosemary and 1 bay leaf. I don't think I've got any bay leaf. Let me check and see if the pack of spices had bay leaf in it. No bay leaves in there, but I bet there's bay leaves in my mixed herbs. No. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not gonna be a problem. I'm sure it's fine. Miss that one out and hope that the other things that are in the mixed herbs will substitute for bay. I'm sure that's fine. So now I have to add all the ingredients to the water and stir for 1 to 2 minutes. I can do that. That is very easy. A bit of rosemary, a little bit of mixed herbs, a bit more mixed herbs to make up for the lack of bay leaf, some basil, I'm just going to put this much basil in there, some honey, a splash of lime juice, a pinch of salt, and then a squashed garlic clove. And I'm sure it doesn't matter that the skin is on there as well because, you know, roughage. Perfectly pummeled. Excellent. Does this mean that I'm going to put it in my bath? Am I going to stink of garlic? Well, I usually do anyway. Is my skin going to smell of garlic? Because I don't know whether I'm necessarily up for that.
I smell like beef.
Lovely. So that's my potion, nicely stirred. Looking beautiful, as you can see. I'm not going to tip it too far because I don't want to pour it all over my book, but doesn't look too bad. Looks quite tasty. Smells quite nice too. Very savoury. Now I have to take this to my bath. Come on then, you. Off we go. Off to the bath. So I don't know how much you can see in here because the light probably isn't that great. I've bought everything that I potentially need to sort my bath water out, which is lovely. So now I need to just follow the steps that are in the book. Now to make this work I have to cleanse myself, so I'm gonna waft up some of the smell towards me and try and make it fill the bathroom so it cleanses everything. It smells amazing. I now have to add all my concoctions into the bath, so I'm going to put some salt and also some of that handy roux that arrived. And if you've never treated yourself to Dr. Teal's, what are you doing with your life? Okay, salt added, incense burning, herbs in, bath. I think this is all going fantastically well. Okay, now what do I have to do? I have to add in my potion that I made. Might possibly feel like a soup after I've done this. And also, for extra witch points, bloody full moon today. If this doesn't turn me into Hermione Granger, I'm going to be mightily pissed off. Obligatory crystals, some rose quartz is suggested, so that's what I'm going with. That's how you break your bathtub. Now this is the part where I need to set my intention.
And the light from within my soul, enter this candle and take hold. Release me from the things that have bound me to the self that is not true. Leave me be as I am meant to be. Light so bright, the self that's right. Thank you, cleansing water, for the chance to say goodbye to my old self. I will enter the bath as old and release anew.
So at the end of my nice herby, garlicky soup bath, I now have to have a very cold shower, apparently. And I don't want to do this. And I'm eating the shower curtain.
Get in there, get that cold tap on, or I'll turn it on myself.
I'm gonna do it.
Get in there, I'm gonna turn it.
I need to do my backside. Okay, I've done it. I need to wash the herbs out from under my armpits. I feel like I've pulled a muscle. Okay, it's getting better. It's getting better.
Now you know what a bolognese feels like. They say that the first 1 minute and 50 seconds is the worst.
Okay, I'm done.
Feeling witchy now.
This is apparently all my demons.
Is it?
Yeah. Now I'm meant to find a crossroads and chuck these out.
You'll go past one on the way to work tomorrow, surely.
You want to smell my demons?
And just like that, my first spell was done, and I disposed of my demons in a nearby crossroads for somebody else to find, and so help them if they did. It's the morning after the spell that I did last night,
on my way to work, so I feel fine. I feel a little bit drained and tired, but nothing new there for mornings with me, to be honest. Smells like I've got marinara cooking in my handbag, and I can't say that I'm not a little bit garlicky smelling as well, so I'm hoping that people in the office today just think that I've had a really good pizza or something last night, and not that I've been bathing myself in garlic and basil. No huge weight lifted off my mind or anything like that, so yeah, I will check back in with you in a few days.
And for the next week or so, I followed more steps from the book and tried to incorporate witchcraft into my day-to-day routine. This included a variety of small steps, such as grounding. Grounding is a practice of imagining that you've got roots coming out from your feet, which sink into the earth and works as a connection tool. I found grounding quite useful because it was something that you could use, particularly in slightly stressful situations where you can suddenly think, oh, hang on a minute, I've got this completely under control, and I can imagine those roots growing out of my feet, and that was really helpful. Making sure that my home environment was nice and clean, pleasant for me to be in, and also spending time with nature. I did things like going out and feeding the birds on my lunch break, which was quite a nice thing to do, and helped me to reflect on things from day to day. Overall, I think the first week went well, and I quite enjoyed it. Actually, incorporating small things into my day-to-day routine really wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
So we're now day 14, 13? Day 13 on the Witchcraft challenge. Now I've been making my way through my little book, and I say little book, it is quite a little book, and so far I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a decently written book. It's got to a bit of a stage now where it's a little bit repetitive, and it's quite a lot of the same thing over and over, just because it's going through different spells and teaching you how to get into the beginning of your craft. I've been really enjoying just giving something different a go. Interesting, to say the least, but I would say it's so far a lot of the journey has been learning and just giving things a go. So in the book, Juliet kind of gives you a few rules to live by as you go through, along with some spell work and some decent tips for living your life as a witch, I guess. There's some things that she wants you to do every single day, which I've personally found that it's not possible to do all of them in a day, and that's okay. I think sometimes, you know, you just got to do things your own way, and that's very much what it says throughout the book, is to make sure that you try things out in your own style, which I definitely have been. But there's some really nice hints and tips of how to look after yourself, take care of just you, your environs. To be honest, so far I'm finding it more down to earth than I thought I would have been finding it. I thought it would be very much going out into the woods, dancing around. You know, I understand witchcraft from how it's portrayed in the media, from how people think witches are, from more of the historical side of things, which I've looked into, which hasn't always been portrayed from the witch's point of view. It's always been told very much from the perspective of how people are interpreting those witches, and not necessarily giving them their own narrative or their own story to tell themselves. And for me, so far, what's been really interesting is that it seems very authentic. It's a very tried and tested, and you can tell that it's something that's really is based in that many years worth of practice and work and handing it down and through generations and generations. So it's been a lot less hocus pocus and a lot more spiritual. So something that Juliet talks about in the book is to make sure that you really look after yourself, and that can come in many different forms. Now, she's a big advocate of making sure that you take time for yourself, so doing things that make you feel good, just little daily practices that you can really easily fit into your lifestyle and shouldn't be too difficult for you. Now, something I found quite interesting since I started doing this is that it's really kind of cleared my head and given me a chance to think about just incorporating some little things every day into your lifestyle that can make it better. And we should be doing that. Why do a lot of people not do that? Just kind of take time for yourself, and it might not always be the easiest thing to do, but it makes a lot of difference, and actually you'll thank yourself if you do it. So, you know, just spend some time on yourself. And that can take the form of whatever you like. So today I thought I haven't done my makeup properly for a long time, and actually I really want to, so I spent time putting some effort into making myself feel nice by putting on some makeup. And I think there is some kind of witchcraft at play, because I managed to put eyelashes on today for the first time in ages, and they stuck first time. So I'm gonna say it's witchcraft. Something else the Witchery book is a big fan of is making sure that you take time to move, you find some form of exercise that you enjoy. Now for me, I'm not an exercise person. I hate it, can't stand it, think it's possibly some of the worst stuff in the world. but I've always liked yoga, so I've been taking time to I've started a yoga membership again, and I've been going back to class and I've been really enjoying it. And even sometimes when I really don't want to go, once I've got to class and started moving about, it's actually been good. So I've got just over half the book left to finish reading. I think I'm going to try out a few more spells because I don't want to do a spell a day. I don't want to go overboard. I want to test witchcraft, as it were, but I want to just give it a go and see if it works in a practice that somebody could actually carry out on a daily, weekly basis. I don't have any sort of intention of becoming a fully blown witch or practicing this long term, but I think there's quite a few good, decent takeaways so far from what I've learnt in the book, and I guess I'll see once this challenge is up if I decide to keep any of those going. But I think actually for most people it's something that you probably should be looking to do anyway. I know I don't exercise enough, I definitely don't eat healthily enough, and that's something that this book is really into making sure that you are doing. So all round, not too bad. So there we are, I'm almost at the halfway point, and that's just my thoughts, feelings, and how I'm feeling about stuff. That is my thoughts and feelings. So I'm using my Witchcraft today to help me with my writing. I'm writing the next Macabre London episode, and I'm gonna make sure that my space is cleansed and clean, ready for some nice fresh brain space. I'm feeling a bit tired today.
This ain't it, Chief!
So I'm hoping that spraying some stuff around will make me feel a bit more up and about. Interestingly, I've just been looking for my Palo Santo for ages and I didn't pick it up, and it seems to be in this room next to my phone, and I'm not quite sure how that happened because I definitely didn't pick it up and bring it in here. So witchcraft, I guess. I've lit myself a nice green candle. So green candles are all about money, prosperity, general fertility, so I'm hoping that the fertility of my writing and the money and prosperity will all work together hand in hand to make this a good and quick session. I'm almost finished writing, so yeah, so that would be good if I can get that done ASAP. So I'm going to just cleanse the room very quickly and then settle down and see how I get on. So here's my Palo Santo. I can really recommend this shop. It's obviously not sponsored because I'm way too tiny to get a sponsor, but this is Fairyland Aromatics, and they're a little tiny independent shop from Glastonbury, and I've been there before. Last time I was in Glastonbury, sprayed it on my finger, which means it's going to smell like that for the next 5 days. Just going to go wash that quickly. Okay, let's get myself set up and going and get my writing done. Fingers crossed the witchcraft helps. Well, that went well. I managed to get the episode I was writing finished, which is great. I felt like I was focused and that I didn't have any distractions. I think because I put myself in a room that didn't have any distractions, also just cleared my space first and set myself up for a good amount of time writing. Worked out really well, so really pleased. So yeah, definitely worked. Great. I'm going to try it every time now, I think, see how much writing I can get done, like, super quickly.
The next thing I wanted to focus on in my witchcraft journey was to make sure that I was looking after myself, and this meant going to yoga.
Let's start in a child's pose if that's comfortable for you. If child's pose isn't your fave, option to start seated instead. Hands can be above your head or by your side. Close down the eyes if that's comfortable for you.
I hadn't been at yoga for a long time, so it was quite nice to get back into the practice. And since I finished filming this video, I've actually been keeping up with my yoga way more than I was before. So if anything, witchcraft has really helped me with that.
Excuse the ginormous spot on my face. I've just been to yoga to look after myself, which is why I'm slightly rosy, and I feel really good. Like really, if that's even a thing. This evening did lots of long poses, just feel really good for it, which isn't usually something exercise instills in me. I normally hate it to the nth degree. So it's good. So grounding myself spiritually seems to be working. Now there's somebody sat in the car park opposite me that is looking at me, so I'm gonna go and I will...
Overall, I was pleasantly surprised at how this experiment went, and I think there's definitely a few things that I'm going to take into my day-to-day life from this. I've definitely incorporated making sure that I'm going out into nature more, because obviously that's witchcraft.
Thank you for joining me for today's video. Just wanted to go over a few things that I experienced and tried out in the video. I felt that this book was a really handy introduction into the craft, so if you are trying to get into the craft yourself and you want to try some things out, then I would say that that's definitely a good idea. I think a few of the things that I will take away from this experiment was to definitely think about incorporating a few sort of witchcraft things into my day-to-day practices, so things like making sure that you are looking after yourself properly, banishing bad energy, all of that kind of fun stuff, and taking time as well to connect with nature, which I think is really important too. And by that I mean like no kind of hippy dippy stuff, but just making sure that you go outside every day. And obviously at the moment with this whole thing that's going on, taking that time to go outside if you're allowed to go outside is really important, and that's what I've been enjoying on a day-to-day basis. Now, I must be honest with this book, it did start to get quite repetitive towards the end, so I didn't actually finish the book completely. Sorry, Juliet. I think in time I might go back to this and try and make it to the end as well. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how I found the experience, and I thought that it was quite enjoyable overall. So if you're looking for a new hobby, particularly at the moment if you're in quarantine or in lockdown, then I highly recommend checking out that book and giving a bit of witchcraft a go. Why not, eh? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you liked it, then please drop us a like or a dislike, doesn't matter. And if you've tried anything like this, then please drop a comment below as well. I'd like to hear about your experiences too. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this sort of thing. I do videos like this, but also history stuff as well. Take a look at my channel and see if it's something you're into. And if it is, then please subscribe. It'd be nice to have you join the family. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.